Hi guys, what we're going to do today, we're going to talk with Swansea Housing and all that and see what they've got to say and all that, because next week I'm looking at the eviction, but the thing is, they are saying, "Oh, come in on the 7th, sign the papers, and then I'm supposed to come back here and then wait until like 8 a.m. in the morning to go back in." And I'm like, no. What's been going on the day before and then come all the way back to this. I mean, so I'm going to say, Tom, what's the point of me coming back here on the 7th? I'm going to be out on the next day anyway.
Housing options, I can help you.
Hi there. Yeah, it's Paul is from. I'm dealing with Josie there, and I'm going to be evicted on the 8th, but I'm supposed to sign papers on the 7th, and because there's going to be a lot of traveling back and forth on the 7th and 8th, it'd be no point me coming back to this property that I'm in on the 7th when I'm out the next day very early in the morning. I mean, it doesn't make
What's your
sense.
date of birth, me, please?
Okay, it's the 11th of the 8th, 9.
All page, yeah?
Yeah, the ones who's been exposed in the genocide of Swansea Council and all the authorities been going on
Okay,
with.
bear with me one sec. I'll see if I can transfer you now.
Okay, thanks for that. Because I mean, it's no point in it, guys. I mean, it's like, and the thing is, by the time I probably finish signing the papers, it'd be like 5 p.m. Come back and then be like a few hours, say about less than 12 hours. I'm getting ready to come back, go back into Swansea. You know what I mean? And the stuff I got, I'm gonna need a taxi. It's gonna cost me 40 odd pound back and forth. You know what I mean? So it's no point. You know what I mean? And I mean, because I'm gonna need to know. I mean, what I need to do. I mean, it's all fine and dandy of them sitting in their chairs and they got cars, but they're not going to allow me with what I've got onto a bus. And I'm not leaving my journalist stuff behind. And I'm not dumping that into storage. I'm keeping that with me. I mean, and Monday I got like stuff in my filing cabinet. Yeah, I'll be dumping that in. Yeah, up into storage, but the rest no. And the thing is, I've been doing.
Hiya.
Hello.
Hello. I just spoke to Josie. She's dealing with something at the moment. She's dealing with something before they open. And she said she's going to give you a ring back as soon as she's finished, okay?
Okay, that's magic. Thanks for that. And you have a nice day.
Okay.
Right, bye bye.
Bye-bye.
But yeah, I mean, so, and the thing is, well, yeah, I mean, it's not like they haven't had time to sort all this out. The only reason why I'm getting evicted, guys, you know what I mean, a lot, it's it pisses me off more than anything. You know what I mean, it's not the eviction that's pissing me off. It's the fact that I feel like the farmer. I mean, years ago. You know, I mean, when he had like two thugs come into his home and they tried to steal from him, and all he did was defend himself. You know what I mean? And the same with me. You know what I mean? I had thugs come into my home. You know what I mean? Every week. You know what I mean? And all that, and so every day. And no matter you report it to the police are like, "Have you got a donut for us?" You know what I mean? That attitude. You know what I mean? And also, basically, like, we want to play triangle, which my neighbor slash friend noticed, and me and my friend just like sat down. My friend, had done like 13 years in the military, served in the army, and he's disabled, and he's noticed that once you're disabled, the military don't give two fucks about you. Anyway, so and yet you got all these people waving their flags. Thank you for the service, and the person who's disabled, like, for what? How much of a shit all UK is right now? Anyway, so and and to the point where me and you know, my neighbour slash friend in the same block, as well as male friends in the other blocks of the same place, noticed that the police were giving the attackers more and more confidence. They keep attacking me and all that, and I was like peaceful and all that, kept it together and all that. And I know that I'm being stitched up left, right, and center, by the establishment and the thugs and all that because of, you know what I mean? Because I was doing my shows exposing the bullying that the authorities did years before, which then prompted me to go, oh, right, I need to expose the authorities, the attacks that I'm getting and all that. And the authorities never liked that. But the thing is, I never liked them attacking me. So, I mean, but yeah, I never attacked them. Just expose the bastards instead for attacking. But anyway, so so they allowed the idiots, the thugs, and all that of all ages. You know what I mean, ranging from 16 all the way up to 60 odd. They keep attacking me and all that because they all like the drugs so much. Yeah, great role models, and the older generation getting youngsters addicted to drugs and all of that. But anyway, and so I'm not dealing with this shit, year in, year out, you know what I mean, and week in, week out, cause going years and week out sort of thing. And then when I finally sort of did something, I mean, defended myself and all that, the police like, no, you can't do that. So what the police are actually saying, what the authorities are actually saying, people can attack you, Paul. People can do all this to you, Paul. People can take your life away, Paul. And my dad's taught me, ex-Marine and all that, said, no, if people are going to attack you, you know what I mean, defend yourself. And that's what I did in the end, you know what I mean? And the thing is, well, I'm like my dad, you know what I mean? We can take a lot. We can take a lot of shit. And I bet you the police right now going, yeah, he has been through a lot. Fuck. Yeah, I can take a lot of shit. But when we snap, yeah, don't be around, because back in the day, when my dad was in the Marines and all that, and I mean, he was a guy who did rugby, boxing, and all that, and so forth, right? In the Marines and all that, and the opposition couldn't take my dad fairly, so they threw sand in his eyes and all that, and things like that. And eventually, my dad snapped, and by what I got told, I mean, that my dad fired a machine gun. You know what I mean? Just lost it, sort of thing, just snapped and all that. It wasn't his fault. It was those that were pushing him over the edge, and in the end, he just snapped and all that. And even to this day, you know what I mean? When my dad goes to the range and all of that, you know what I mean? Despite what happened, you can see he's comfortable still on the gun. He has no traumatic experience from that and everything else. But you can see in his eyes that he's been through a lot, you know what I mean, and all that. And I think the same thing happened to me. I got pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, you know what I mean? They were banging my doors, smashing my solar panel lights. They were stealing my cameras. They were doing everything. And so one day I thought, okay, you lot like banging my doors, smashing my stuff and all that and so forth. Let's give you a little taste on what I can do. Peacefully, what I can do. You know what I mean? So I went across, banged the doors, you know what I mean, banged one of the doors saying, hey, are you going to come and answer and speak to me properly, But the door was like almost coming off the hinges. And I was like, you know what I mean? And I could hear from behind the scenes, behind the door sort of thing, the lady and the bloke, and the bloke was going, he's kicking the door. No, I was just knocking it like that. And the door was like, come on, no, come on. You know what I mean? And I just shouted in there, say, hey, you lot are tough when you're in a group, but when it's one-on-one, you lot hide. You know what I mean? And so then time went by a little bit, and then one of them had the smart idea to try and knife me. You know what I mean? And I defended myself, and because then I defended myself again, and I made sure a green door was between me and the assailant. And as you guys know the story, I tried reaching for my Faber spray, but didn't, and accidentally grabbed my bushcraft knife because it's in the same material. You all know that by now. Um, and basically, the assailant, yeah, I mean, did a little run at, you know what I mean? Because like, oh, he's got a bigger knife than me. I wish there was somebody was there that day with the captions. This is a crocodile Dundee moment. You think that's a knife? No, that's a knife. You know, well, in the film, you know, cause he's holding it. You think that's a knife? No, this is a knife. But you know, what I mean, and if I wasn't in shock and so forth, and then trying to press down on the knife just to spray, because I thought it was fab spray I had, but I saw it, I was like, oh, that's not fab spray. That's a knife. I can laugh at it now, you know what I mean, because I'm away from the area. I'm safe now from that area and all that. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean, in times like that, you think, oh, I forgot, I'm looking at is it a camera on? Yeah, that one. Cause I got the blue light on. It's like studio now. Look at the light. But anyway, so and what I've noticed the arrogance of these authorities and all that. You know what I mean? And the people in these authorities don't realise they are part of doing violence and all that, like we saw with the scamdemic. A lot of the people in these authorities went along with the violence, and now people locally to me and right around the world are dead because stupid people, well, I won't call them stupid, ignorant people lacking information went along. So now millions of people have died because people chose to ignore the warnings. You know what I mean? And you know, people, you know, in our families, you know, I was given warnings. You know, the one that listened, my mum. You know what I mean? But then again, my mum had an inkling something wasn't right anyway, so she never took the shot. And plus, you know, she got like rheumatoid arthritis and all that before the whole scandemic happened. You know what I mean? And 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 I said to her, you know, the condition you're in, you know, what I mean, you know, you should not take the shot. And she said, I wasn't going to take it anyway. You know what I mean? And me and her, we were seeing things, you know what I mean? You know, stuff I was showing her and all that. And she went, I'm glad I never took the shot now, you know what I mean? And, and because, and my mate said yesterday as well, you know what I mean? He said a very interesting thing to me yesterday. We got talking and all that. And a little bit, you know what I mean? He could see I was miffed, you know what I mean? Not at him, but he could see I was miffed on a lot of things, you know what I mean? And we got chatting, and he said it's interesting that people around this local area and all of that, and so call you crazy and all of that, but all the things I've heard you say through your shows and all of that have come about, not because you wanted to, you know what I mean? And it's not because you're smart and intelligent and all of that and so forth, you know what I mean? It's the fact that you had the awareness and and you just followed the clues and all that, and it's nothing special what I did as well, you know what I mean? And he says the same. It's nothing special what you did. All you did was just went across, you know what I mean, read what you can before I started seeing matching ants, and then I let the computer read the rest because of my dyslexia, you know what I mean? And so if a person like me with dyslexia can read the documents and have it read out to them as well through a computer and get to know what's really going on, right? What's stopping those that are perfect with English? My grammar sucks. I mean, and all that and everything else, right? But what's stopping people that got way better English than me? You know what I mean? Going to read these documents and go and listen to the scientists that are speaking out. Go and listen to the historians that are speaking out. Listen to the doctors that are speaking out and all that. You know what I mean? I've done this now for over 30 years. You know what I mean? I started looking into this before YouTube was even thought of. You know what I mean? And I've been looking into information since I was in college, you know, and find out what's really going on because what happened to me. You know what I mean? And that's the same with people born before me as well. You know, I mean, shit happens to them, and they go looking for answers. So they then, you know, what I mean, people before me, there might not even be any form of internet, not even dial-up. You know what I mean? So they would do newspapers. They'll go and dig into the library's archives and phone around and sometimes go over the wall, if you know what I mean by that, for the information. You know what I mean? And And I've done a bit of that myself. Go over the wall to get the information, if you know what I mean. And as I said yesterday as well, I mean, I just walked from this place, I mean, up to storage. Along my way, I was gathering evidence. I mean, I got on camera, I mean, about the engineering going. I didn't gather much, but I got a bit, I mean. And I noticed a lot of people too busy looking at me than looking at what's really going on in the sky. Isn't that the mindset of a lot of people? You know what I mean, just like the police. Instead, you know, what I mean, they came to and arrested the victim instead of going after the perpetrator. The same as, you know, I mean, people just look at the symptoms of what's going on in society in the country instead of going to the cause. Immigrants are just the symptom, not the cause. Think about it. And so, so you guys can tell, you know what I mean, I'm not one of these people that just like, watch like a 5 second YouTube video or 5 second BitChute video or 5 second Rumble video and go, aha, I know it. No, I spend ages, guys. You know what I mean? I'm too busy trying to debunk something, and then if it can't be debunked, I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? I'll speak about that then. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I drive people mad on as well is the flat Earth thing. I've had loads of people come up to me and say, "Hey, because you've done a podcast on Spreaker and you speak out, and and you had a website called boywills.com before it got taken away, and you've been pretty spot on with it and everything else." And I'm like, "Have I?" I'm like, I mean, I feel like I'm fumbling in the dark, but I'm just following the clues. I let the clues take me. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of people, they have like a conclusion and all that, and they try and match that. I'm not. I'm like, right, clues, show me. You know, show me where you want to take me, and I just let the clues take me. You know what I mean? And I do the cross referencing. You know what I mean? I'm very critical and everything else. You know what I mean? I have no, yeah, I mean, what you call it, intent on the outcome. You know what I mean? I let the clues be the intent on the outcome, and that's why. You know what I mean, people are shocked. They're like, "Oh, so this is going on. That's going on." When they go and look for it themselves, so they go, "How do you know?" I said, "I don't. I get to know. There's a difference. I get to know to end up knowing." You know what I mean? And and I think that's what scares a lot of people. I think deep down, there's something deep inside them. They know with certain people they've done the proper searching and researching, and they don't want to face those people. They stay away from people like me. They're like, yeah, I think you've done all the groundwork. I think you've done the legwork, and we don't want to know. And they go run in. In some cases, they attack as well and try and silence you to the point of death, even like the UK authorities do, like the UK government and all of them do. You know what I mean? They'll send people to try and kill you. You know what I mean? So if anything happens to me, you know, I mean, one of the first people on the list would be Swansea Council, Swansea Police. You know what I mean? I mean, the authorities in general and all that. Even Pontedillis Council, there's one or two people on there that have tried to silence me. And also check into Cody Pob. They used to be called Pobble, also known as Gwalia. And if you look at the Gwalia logo, that is a Freemason, type logo symbol. And the thing is, as well, I've actually looked into the Freemason housing as well, and it's had like 50, 60 years already, and they did like a celebration on it as well, not that long ago. And this is mean to you guys. They hate me for knowing stuff. You know, I can't help it. You know what I mean? Once you attack me, I'll go looking. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Once you attack me, I go looking. And they attacked me when I was, in my teens, and I've gone looking. And my dad has always said, when I brought things up, he's like, "Be careful." My whole family, I mean, on my dad's side, have said, "Be careful what you're looking into." You know what I mean? Because they know it's dangerous what I'm looking into. Very dangerous what I'm looking into. You know what I mean? And then I've got family members on my mum's side with the husbands are going, oh, it must be his fault all this happening and all that, and because they haven't got a clue what's going on. And I did spot the was it the Minerva, that's the owl sort of thing, you know, in the corner and all that. And he used to go to the lodge and all that and stuff like that and everything. And I'm wondering, was it just a drinking lodge or was it a Masonic lodge? You know what I mean? Maybe that's why he's getting pissed off, you know, because I'm getting close to a lot of things. Maybe he's got secrets that he doesn't want the family to know. You know what I mean? And so, and the thing is, as well, he brags a lot as well that, like, oh, I got all these people that they fired me and all that and so forth. And I'm like, maybe because you've never sort of like rocked the boat, you never sort of like exposed lies that are going on within the system. You've never exposed what's really going on. You know what I mean? So a lot of people think you're just one of them that's going along with the lies and going along, you know what I mean, with the bullshit. You know what I mean? And we've all got, you know, family members that are happily to go along with the lies for their bits of comfort. And it's like a song I was playing yesterday, walking on, down the street. You know what I mean? When I was going to storage and all that, you know what I mean, singing about nobody wants to hear the truth where it rocks their comfort, sort of thing. You know what I mean? In other words, if you're busy funding the agendas, the crimes that the establishment are doing, and all of that, yeah, I mean, and that's a lot of people like this. Well, I'm happy paying my taxes. I'm a good taxpayer and all of that. And then someone like me come along and goes, what, the same taxes that funds Agenda 2030, which makes you a criminal for growing your own food, for having your own home, which will take away your property rights. So you then, like everybody else, renting all the time. Nothing's really yours. Plus, you're not allowed to drive your car, which is also linked with the Great Reset and all of that. Plus, we're going to have these 15-minute cities, which are actually 15-minute pod cities. In other words, prisons. Hence the digital IDs and all that coming in. So you're happily funding all of this, where you're making you and your children and your grandchildren, all of this, slaves even deeper to the state. And that's why they tried out the national ID to see if we happily go along with that as a prisoner inside a plantation, and a lot more and a lot more. And you keep going on, you know, you keep digging in and stuff like that. And they're like, but have you got a job? You know, they do that. And I go, yeah, my job is to wake your dumb ass up. And they're like, well, I never. And they walk off and they're like, uh, and they try and say as well, well, at least I'm trying to pay my way through life. And I'm like, why do we gotta pay through life? I mean, our dad and mum did the fucking pay the cost to bring me into this world. Why am I paying that cost over and over again to some stranger that I don't even know? You know what I mean? The trees are there for me to you know, with apples and, you know what I mean? There's vines over there, you know what I mean? With blackberries and all of that. There's this, that, and so forth. I can easily just go and grab that. And yet, you, in your mentality, because you believe some other idiot, that we must buy this to live. You know what I mean? And yet, we got abundance of water all around us and everything else. And yet, we got idiots saying, we must pay for this. And now, we can buy stuff from the shop ourselves and all that. There's technology now created where we can filter the water for ourselves. What's wrong? You know, you like the JP Mongs of the world, a greedy, sack of shit. No, I'm not. I'm leaving. I'm not going to stand here and be insulted. Like, yeah, because you know I'm right, you dumbass. You know what I mean? And they're like, and you hear them walking off like and they go and meet up with other slaves, you know what I mean? So the translation when they're speaking to each other, you know, when they're going, I have a job, I'm this and that, you know what I mean? I'm just doing what I can, and it should be, I'm happy to be a slave. Slave I am, just like you. I'm happy to be a slave. I'm happy to pay my slave master. I'm happy for him to take, you know, a sample of my work and all that. And you look at slavery plantation and all that, you know, in the history books, where the people go out and do all the, all the work, while the slave master takes a percentage of that work from them. And it's like, And you just look at me and you just go, you know what I mean? So you like being a slave? You like being a slave? Having people taking all your money from you, known as the government. Yeah, I mean it's funny as well. You know, I mean how they don't want to put that connection there because you know why? Because then they would have to be responsible for their own actions. That's why a lot of people hide behind government because they don't want to be responsible for whatever happens. Think about it. How many of you want to be responsible? You know, what I mean, of sending you know, what I mean, the military to a fake war. Or, I mean, fake. The intel is fake, while our men and women, you know, what I mean, go across to be killed off over something false. You take away the government, you know what I mean, and you take away the councils and all that. You take away those labels and all that. Where does then the responsibility falls? It falls on us, men and women of in class as the public. People only use government not to bear the responsibility. That's it. All it's there for. You know what I mean? The vote was like, I'm voting for this. You're only voting what you want. You're not voting what I want or somebody else wants and all that. And the thing is, when you have, say for argument's sake, you got like 30%, 20%, and 10%, right? So the 30% that gets in, the rest probably don't get what they want. The whole system, the whole voting system, and much more is a basically about, you know what I mean, how many selfish people can get their party in for what they want. You know what I mean? What everybody else is basically, you know, go F yourself. You know what I mean? So voting doesn't work. It never has worked. You know what I mean? So anybody that's like, oh, I'm a proud voter. I vote for the Liberal Democrats. Oh, I vote for Labour. I vote for the Green Party because I like, you know, pictures of leaves on a particular party. I mean, you know, I vote, or whatever, you know. I vote for Reform because I think that's an alternative party that's for us, but when it ain't. You know what I mean? And so on and so on. Guys, this is not scripted. You can tell it's all up here. but, but that's the thing, though, isn't it, guys? That's the thing. You know, all these people are voting for it. I want somebody else to do it. So if it fails, I'm not responsible. Yes, you are, because you voted for them. You consented to the criminal behaviour of a politician. Oh, I did not think of that. No, you didn't, did you? Once you sign on a bit of paper, you're consenting. When you say fuck all, you're consenting. I'm saying stuff. I'm not consenting to the bullshit of the politicians or the masters of lies within their job. You know what I mean? That's what it is. You know what I mean? You've heard of masters of the universe, master of the one verse, one word. You know what I mean? Like He-Man. Think about it, He-Man. He speaks, I have the power and all that. If you look at closely, you break up the word universe, but you know, un is one, verse is word. I am the word. I am the word. Doesn't make it sound glamorous. I have the power. I have the word. Bible, God spoke the word, brought things to being. Anyway, connection. Anyway, so some people just gone, wait, what? I've gone, oh. Yeah, there's a God reference in He-Man. There you go. So, but anyway, we'll keep chatting, guys, until they phone back. And I'm gonna get myself a coffee. Actually, I'm gonna get myself a coffee. I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use one of the sachets. You know what I mean? Until I get the milk. You know what I mean? Because the milk I got here is too a bit sour. I know you can taste it and it's like, oh, that's getting a bit tangy, isn't it? Oh, tangy milk. So, yeah. So I'm going to have one of the sachets until I go and get the coffee. And today, guys, yesterday, guys, But yeah, it's still killing around my heart area. It's still killing, and I went to storage and all that. And I put my walking stick to one side, put my base out, straighten the feet a little bit, not too much. I would have done the splits. So I spread my base out, like tried to pick up this box, and by here my heart almost gave out. I was like, oh, I'm at that level now, am I? Where I can't be lifting. You know what I mean, the levels I used to lift and all that. So I was like, if I keep going, yeah, the poor storage guy would have come in and seen me going, uh, and there would have been a box on top of me, and I would have just been like Minecraft, you know what I mean, something like. I thought, yeah, I better not try to lift that anymore. And this is why I got to laugh, right? This is why I got to laugh with Swansea authorities as well. They're not gonna like me taking the piss out of them, but they take the piss out of us. You know what I mean, they go, "Oh, we are the help and all of that," and you go, "Okay, can it mean move stuff around there?" Like, "Oh no, we just want to sit here and take the money." Wait, what? You know, people like me are disabled and all that, and all you can do is just sit there like a driftwood. What good are you? What's my people paying taxes to driftwood? You know what I mean? Dragging this country down. Councils and governments are dragging this country down. They're a bunch of flipping parasites. You know what I mean? They go along with corporations that are poisoning us. And then people are wondering, why are people getting ill more? Because councils and governments are going on with corporations poisoning the food supply, poisoning our waters, and poisoning the skies, and poisoning the land. You know what I mean? And you got people like me out filming and taking soil samples, doing this and all that. You know what I mean? And then we present it to the authorities. The authorities say, "Oh, we're going to take a look at this," and you never see your evidence ever again because they burnt it and just destroyed it because they don't give a damn about poisoning you and me. Yeah, I mean, the authorities, Swansea authorities, I've noticed, as well as many authorities, are part of the order of death. And I'm getting that out, just in case they end up killing me. You know what I mean? And to Swansea police and all that, you don't like the truth, then stop working for the order of death. And the thing as well, I've noticed as well, people's language and all that as well. I remember the day, right, where they used to go, "Oh, this man, he works for the police force. Oh, this man works for so and forth." Notice what? Listen to what we say today. Oh, the police, not like the police is supposed to be this living entity. This, like people are born out, wearing a uniform. Like, no, we need to look at what we are actually saying. You know what I mean? Police is just a corporation, just a job title and all that. They got no special powers, same as the idiots in Parliament. It's a job title. It's MP. It's AM and all of that stuff. It's just a job title. They didn't come into the world like, "I'm a god over every one of you." You know what I mean? They're your neighbours. You know what I mean? They're your strangers. They're your family. They're your friends and all of that and so forth. Born the same way. Two people shagged. They got shot out. Okay? They got extra powers, you know what I mean? More than you and all that. You know what I mean? So by them choosing to go into these professions, they have no right to go in, "You must bow down to us." Actually, it should be us saying it to them. You went into a job that was supposed to serve us until we do something that is genuinely wrong. Not what you think is wrong, what is genuinely wrong. And a lot of these legislations with Parliament are criminal. They are like, when they're writing it, should we put this in? It is going into slavery, but should we put it in? Yeah, why not? Because they know most of the public don't check. So what the police are rolling out is a lot of slavery legislations to keep the public enslaved for never speaking out and challenging the lies of the system and the criminality of the system and everything else. And the thing is, like I said before, the best way to beat the system is not feed it. You know what I mean? When you don't feed the system with tax money and all of that, the corrupt police don't get wages and all that and so forth. You know what I mean? Their wages will go down for a bit. You know what I mean? And then if we set something else up to arrest the people in the police forces right now, that people who actually do work for us, to go after these little bastards, you watch the tone change because we know the police have got Masonic entities through the ranks. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people who go in with good intentions, they just want to go after those that being naughty and all that and so forth. And but end up getting blocked by maybe a chief inspector who's maybe part of the Masonic group or whatever. Because don't forget there are people in the police that are actually looking into the satanic sides and looking into why prices going up and this that. They're actually looking in and they find out, oh wait a minute, there's a lot of criminality going on, and they go and take it to the higher command. And they, no, nah, don't worry, we'll look at it another day. You know what I mean? But then it never gets looked into. You know what I mean? And then that's why you don't see the people from the World Economic Forum, Tavistock, or wherever get arrested. Because there's a group within the councils, the police, Parliament, and all of that are making sure that certain things do not get investigated properly. They create the illusion of something getting investigated, but at the end of the day, it just fizzles out. That's why it's always down to us, men and women, which they call the public level. I've never seen, a level I've gone by where it says public, government and royal family. Well, those levels, I've not physically seen them. They're mentally up here in the people's minds, but what are they really? Yeah, we may see a castle and all that, and so forth, but that's on a hill. The hill is the level, but it's not because of a royal family or government or whatever. So yeah. So once you break down the myths and the lies and the illusions and all that, and go, I'm like Dorothy now, looking behind the veil. Ah, look at the so-called I am a mighty wizard. It's hello, how you doing? you know, yeah, it's funny as well. It's funny. It's like the other day, guys. Yesterday, actually, when I was walking up the storage. You know what I mean? I'm playing my stuff, right? But before I started playing music, I was listening to Max Egan. You know what I mean? And Max Egan, as we know as well, he said stuff like, "Don't bow down to these officers and this, that, and everything else," right? You know what I mean? So now I got one of his things on, right? One of his talks on, right? And this little segment comes on, right, where it goes, why are people, going on with governments? These people, I've gotten the swear word he used, and then I'm just walking by the two police officers, right, while they're talking to this lady, right? The lady's done nothing wrong, they're just having a general chat, she's not getting arrested or anything, right? And then all of a sudden, I walk by with my trolley, camera sticking, with my flak jacket on. And the two officers just kind of like that. And then they walked by. They both just went, that's interesting what he's listening to. And I'm like, holding it all in, like. So all I can see at the back is someone going, I'm just walking here, just walking here. But if they came to the front and saw my facial features, I was like. And then when I then crossed the road and I was then out of sight, I just burst out laughing. I was like, oh my God, that was close. But I wasn't scared. I was just too busy like, oh God, that was funny. Even now I'm laughing at it. I got water in my eyes, actually. But yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it, guys? It's just one of those things. that happens. Yeah, I'll put that on. Nice. And turn it off. There you go. Yeah, I turn my Bluetooth off just in case that's connected to a speaker. Burn me. So yeah, so I'm not, you know what I mean, just doing my thing and all of that, you know what I mean, just like go about my business, sorting stuff out that the Swansea police cause, you know what I mean? The reason why I had to go to the storage, because the police, you know what I mean, didn't arrest the attackers and all of that and so forth, and they didn't go after those who stole money from my bank account and everything else. So, I mean, so I am now ending up in temporary accommodation and all that. And no matter how hard I've tried to do things, the authorities have come round and tried to stop me from earning money. Think about that. Because they know if I ever got like money coming in and set up a proper radio network and then exposed every single authority person going, that's part of the PDF thing. They know they would lose their pay packet, and they know I don't give a shit. If you're a PDF, you should lose your job. You should lose your in position and money and all that and so forth. If you're a PDF, you know what I mean? And I've said it before on Spreaker, and then I'll say it again here. If you sort of like go the way of a PDF, then you deserve the PDF consequence. You know what I mean? In other words, wood chipped in Minecraft. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, and that is by looking at genuine evidence, not manufactured because you hate someone and all of that and so forth. I mean proper genuine evidence. Once the genuine evidence is in and all of that, and that person is 100% a PDF. Notice I'm bringing reason, logic, and wisdom. Then once we know, you know what I mean, that person is that, then yeah, wood chipper. Because at one, you know what I mean, because I've been on both sides of the fence, guys. You know what I mean. When I knew somebody that was called a PDF and they weren't, and I was a witness to it and all of that and so forth, and a neighbor of mine was also a witness, and so we got that person off the hook. You know what I mean? Because they tried to say this person was at with this girl at like 9:30 and all that, and I was like, hold on a minute, that person was with me. You know what I mean? Like that's strange. You know what I mean? And and Ray was like, all right, that that person was with us, and I've said this before. I mean, the solicitor came out and asked us, you know, what I mean, what happened on this day? You know, didn't tell us why, didn't tell us what the charges were or nothing. You know what I mean? So we basically told him what went on and all that and everything. We even mentioned when he took his dog, to the park, Viper. I mean, around 4:30 and all that. Then he came back here. You know what I mean? Then he asked me the question, not lie, but you know, what I mean, on the day, the person with Viper the dog, he asked me, what time does the co-op close? I said about 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? You've only got roughly like 10 minutes to get there. Think about it now. I said 10 o'clock. You've only got like 10 minutes to get there. Oh no, mate. Then those people say that he was with this girl at 9:30, but yet he's with me, between 9:45 to 9:50, and he had like roughly 10 minutes to get there. So that blew the whole thing. And the reason why they made the allegation up against him was nothing to do with him. They wanted his home. They wanted his property. This is how evil some people are in Ponderless. Not all, but some people are, right? They wanted his home. And I was like, now that is disgusting, right? And so basically, me and Ray turned up, you know what I mean, to the Crown Court, because once we've told everything to the lawyer that came out to it. I said, "What you just said that matches everything he's told me." I went, "Well, it should, because that's what happened," you know. And so we get to the Crown Court, you know, what I mean, because the prosecuting side didn't think he had witnesses, so we turn up, and didn't know within 20 to 30 minutes the whole court case was dropped because the other side were lying and all that. And the thing is, because they were lying, they should have been prosecuted, persecuted, because there's a thing in place that if you lie in your statement and all that and so forth, then you should have done time in prison. They didn't get that. They just dropped the charges and all that, which I think is wrong, because those people now can go off and do it to someone else. But if that person hasn't got witnesses, you know what I mean, and all that, and they did not do it, they're going to be screwed over. This is why I say we're going to make sure the evidence is correct and all that and everything first, you know, before we wood chip them. You know what I mean? All genuine PDFs should be wood chipped. You know what I mean? In my view, right? But luckily, yeah, I mean, like this person I was told, I mean, luckily they had me and Ray, because they 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 could have been doing time, you know what I mean, for something that they never did. But then there's the other side as well. You know what I mean? I was doing my research and all of that and so forth. These people that were like having to go to him, trying to get his home. I was like doing research in, you know what I mean, into the local area this one time, and I thought, hold on a minute. I had somebody I know that was supposed to be a PDF. I wonder if there is PDFs, in the local area. So I did a bit of digging, and I found 4 PDFs in the local area, and they were actually up on a website where people can go and check and all that and so forth back then. I don't know if it's still there now, because you know the way Google is. You know, I mean, protecting PDFs, so they try and delete a lot of things, so we, the public, don't go finding out. And so I did a bit of digging and all that, and one of the PDFs was actually dating one of the people that was accusing. Hello, what's going on here? I just said, oh, this one. This. Oh, something's just telling me I have something. Yeah, like on TikTok. Thank you for the TikTok like. Anyway, but anyway, so so I'm researching and all that, and I found somebody who flew all the way from Canada, came here, and they were dating a single mother. You know, I mean, dating a single mother, and this guy just happened to be a paedophile. You know what I mean? Not just happened, but you know what I mean. And he was living on the jug and bottles and all that. I don't know if he's still there now or not, but yeah, he was a PDF. So these people, having to go at somebody that wasn't a PDF, but yet within the same group, one of their own was actually dating a PDF. You know what I mean? It's weird. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mentioned it as well, you know what I mean, to Ray, you know what I mean? And I mentioned it to a few other people. Well, I mentioned it to the gossipers, actually. Who else to get the word out? You mentioned it to the gossipers. And they got the word out and all that and so forth. And I didn't see this person, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? After I told the gossipers and all that. But then again, I hardly went out anyway. You know, I mean, very rarely I went out, and when I go out, I can always spot things very quickly anyway. So I didn't see this person or whatever. You know what I mean, either the person got arrested or the person fled. You know what I mean, for their life. You know what I mean. So, but yeah, this is what I mean, guys. You gotta be careful. You know what I mean. Me, I'm a researcher. I'll investigate. I'll cross the T's and dot the I's and all that and so forth and everything else. Because what you notice when the public and all of that, they hear people, I mean, so you're in this, so you must be a tinfoiler or whatever, I mean, and they think everyone is ranting and raving and crazy and all that. No, we're not. Just look at Ian R. Crane. I mean, come on, spoke polite, gentlemanly, and all that, and so forth. And I try to do the same and all that, despite I'm very passionate, and all that. So I come up and try and do the same, and speak on a reasonable level and all that, because I mean, what you call it, the majority of the public are used to the mainstream going tonight on 6 o'clock news. We are going to look at this story. I mean, they're used to that, like being hypnotized and all that. So they're not used to people spreading the information like, "Hi, welcome tonight on history of the ancients. We're gonna look at this." They're not used to that. You know what I mean? I mean, and they would not be able to keep up. You know what I mean? They'd be like, you know what I mean? And even if you ask them as well after the show, you know what I mean, got any questions? They go, what? Which was a question at show now? And most of them be like, I just want to watch something else now. You know what I mean? If you say to them, like, do you think that's true or not? They go, oh, it must be true because it's on the TV. Similar things they say towards us, they say, oh, you think it's true because you got it from the internet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I used to say things back at them, you know what I mean? I say, so you must think it's true because you heard it from Radio 4. You think it's true because you heard it off your religion box, the TV, you know what I mean? And all that. And they're like, don't have a go at my God. And I'm like, you know what I mean? You have a go, I start researching through the internet and all of that, you know what I mean? And I don't see the internet and all that as a God. But yet you assume that we think everything on the internet is true. So, yeah, I mean, so you were saying that I think, Fall Guy, the game, there's actual places where I can go up in the sky and do my things and fall off, and then I'm able to respawn. You sound silly. and they look at me like, well, I never. I turn around to him. You do know I can work out what's real and what's not. Unlike you guys who watch the TV set. They're like, I used to do it when I was younger as well, right? I know a few of you did this as well, right? I know a few of you have done this, right? When I was younger, right? My aunties and all that, and so forth, my mum and all that would watch like Coronation Street. My cousins the same and all that, and they'd be there. Oh, look at her! Oh, I can't believe she just did that. Oh, I would walk in and I'd be like, that's not real. They go, oh, but it's based on real things. I'm like, really? So, where's the quiet bits then of real life? You know what I mean? Yeah, we have drama, but where's the quiet bits? Well, there's a lot of boredom in the true reality. They're like, shut up here. And there'd be like certain things going on and everything. And I'm like, and so I'm like, yeah, you think that's, reality. That's more science fiction than my Star Trek show. I mean, and they're like, just go to your room and watch whatever you're watching. We're gonna happily watch Coronation Street, and I walk away. I go, yes, at least I know the difference between bullshit and true, and walked off. You know what I mean? It was funny. You know what I mean? And the thing is, as well, I think the reason why a lot of ladies love, EastEnders, Coin Street, and all that, and so forth, because it's just like them. There's a lot of gossip in that show. You see all the people in there gossiping about each other. Oh, I've seen about so and so they're doing this. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. This goes on and all that, and they're doing this and they. And I look at my family and I look at the strangers, look at that watch show, and I'm like, yeah, gossipers watching gossipers. Got it. You know what I mean? Or violent people love watching the violence within those shows. Like, okay, see, like the violence and all that in that. Got it. Because there's no real good outcomes in that. There's a wedding and then they start fighting and this and that. I was like, not like some of the shows I watch where they got a battle against evil, and then when you overcome evil, yeah, I mean, there's like, yay, okay, we now can live in peace away from, because we've defeated the evil. EastEnders, Collins Street, and Emmerdale, and all about continuing, dramas and backstabbing and lying and this, that, and so forth. And all that information is going into people's minds, getting to the thing. And then the body and the mind thinking, oh, this is where life is. And then you see them and arguing with their friends and that in real life, this, that, and then I'm going and before long, we got a bunch of society that's like, oi, you, come here now. I hear what you've been doing. You know? It's like watching your own private EastEnders with your little locals around you, sort of thing. I mean, what? I mean, does that make me the Mitchells then with my short hair? I don't know. Does that make me and a couple of my neighbours the Mitchell brothers? Anyway. but anyway. Oh God, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how some of these people are. The only thing I haven't heard yet, without being arrested, where people have gone, you know, Paul, he's down to Nick. What I should do next time is sort of like have an audio file on me and all of that, and then hand it to the police. You know, what I mean, say, hey, can you play this? You know, what I mean, on whatever device you got, the CD player, MP3, or whatever. They go like, oh, just play it and have the windows open. So are they driving through and all that? You have the Bill music coming through. They're like, you bastard. Well, people treat like a TV show. Oh man, that would be funny. That would be funny. You know what I mean? And the thing is, as well, you know, I mean, not like you see Dwayne Johnson in Fast and Furious, and he's walking, you know, what I mean, in that was it police role or whatever sort of thing, you know, but I see Swansea police are like that. They want like thinking they're out of some like Fast and Furious film or Commando or something like that. And they don't realise if a person really wanted to take out the police, you know, touch wood, no harm be done to any, no harm, right? But if somebody really wanted to take the police out, they wouldn't be out in the open like, hey, I'm over here, about to shoot you, but do this. No. Real intelligent people who really want to do proper crimes would not do it out in the open, and they would use custom bullets as well, so you could not, trace them back. And they would use a custom gun, so there's no registration number and all that and so forth, right? And they would hide, from miles off as well. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So if somebody would want to do it, they would get the training involved and all that, and then just sniper your ass from miles away. So by the time you realise where they were coming from, they've gone. You know what I mean? Oh no, am I still live streaming? Am I still live streaming? Let's have a look. Cause I get messages on my phone. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm still live streaming. But yeah, so when you think about it, if people really wanted to take out the police and all that in a smart way, they wouldn't go to the police station. They wouldn't do that. And the thing as well, I was thinking to myself, what if I was a proper criminal, you know what I mean, and all that. Not this coercion and lie bullshit I've gone through, and they trying to, slander my name and all that, so people don't come and listen and all that. You know, what I mean, because at the establishment, like once they know somebody that knows the police, the government, and all that, a bunch of blatant criminals, they'll then make you have a criminal record on purpose. So then hopefully people don't come listen to you. It's all part of the plans. and then that means then people don't listen to you, and then people then walk in then or get themselves killed. In other words, they walk in and get themselves poisoned or whatever because the establishment told them to. But anyway, so um, I mean, I thought of multiple ways that you could do it. You know what I mean? Of taking out the police stations all in one go without the police knowing it's you. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of planning and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the thing is, as well, in films they make it look so easy, but when you actually look at the layouts of this, that, and all that, and so forth, and everything else, it's not as easy as the films make it out to be. You know, what I mean, that's why I find it so funny when you see people going, "Oh, I got a brilliant idea. We do it like this film," and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. You've been stupid." I mean, if you don't want, you know, what I mean, I mean, to be a criminal, one, you don't be a politician and you don't be a police officer, and two, oh, sorry, and also you don't be a banker. So if you don't want to be a criminal, don't be them free. Uh, I'm gonna get a lot of stick on that. But anyway, but I bet you there's a lot of mafia groups now going. Yeah, he's not lying. Respect to a lot of your mafia groups up there as well. You know, 'cause a lot of your mafia groups, I mean, don't like children being harmed by PDFs and all that. Respect to a lot of you out there. But anyway, so I just had a lot of police, chains just gone hit the floor. Wait, he's respecting the mafia lot out there, despite what's going on. Well, mafia's never hurt me. You, the police, have. Anyway. But anyway, let's keep going. I mean, I get the piss take all day because I got personal experience. You know what I mean? And also, I've had the piss taken at me so much. And you, the police, have taken the piss out of me so much. And you don't realize I'm actually naturally witty. I have got like a really dark sense of humor. A lot more. It's like the other day, you know what I mean? I read something wrong because of my dyslexia and all of that. And my brain went, okay, this does not need the top drawer stuff of comedic stuff. It just needs the bottom drawer stuff, very low key and all that. And and some of today's police cars colors have changed. You know what I mean? But back in the day, we had different color cars, right? And so when they said what would be good to go with bacon, and I put in panda cars, as you do. And some people are like, "Yep, that's a good one." They used to drive in black and white cars in Britain, and black and white vans and all that. Yeah, I mean, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I just had an interesting thought. Right? Don't arrest me for this, but listen to this. If the police, were called pigs, right? By the people and all that, and so forth, and in TV shows and all that, and so forth, right? And they were in a panda car, right? We call it, the back of my car like a panda and all that. So I'll be saying the police got inside a panda and had sex with it and whatever, and it was like a form of like a kinkiness going on there. Ah. You know what I mean? Was that the established way of saying we wouldn't mind breeding a new species? You know what I mean? A pag. We're gonna have the pag cows, you know what I mean? Pig and panda together, you know? You know? No, I'm not saying that. That sounds close to something else. I just had a word in my head. It sounds similar, something similar to the N word. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, Because if you take some of the letters with panda and pig, and you rearrange it, you can actually get someone else. No, I'm not doing that. I just realized my brain just did anagrams like. We could have this one, we could have this one, we could have this one, and then it came to the one. I'm like, no, and then move on. Oh man, oh god. That's a trouble with my brain. It loves doing anagrams. It loves it. Despite dyslexic, it loves anagrams. Work that out. You know what I mean? And that's why I work out things when it comes to looking at the words, like universe, as I demonstrated earlier. You know what I mean? Like, un is one, I, flip it and thing, and then you got verse word, I am the word, like, I am God, I am this, and that, and so forth. So when He Man goes, I have the power, he's saying, I am a God. You know what I mean? And all of that, and so forth. But anyway, so yeah. Oh, guys, you know what I mean, I got myself a new one of these, and I've already started putting stuff in. You know what I mean? I've went over some old videos, and I started putting in like Tesla engine, like the Tesla coil, the Tesla cars, biometric scan will be automatically linked to what you said and all of that. Didn't say all of that, but you know what I mean. There's a lot more. You know what I mean? Also, I've labeled the AI like the Oedipus effect. You know what I mean? It's like we know it's bad and all of that, but yet we're still heading towards it. You know what I mean? And the outcome's going to come outcome if we allow it. Because you know people are like, oh, when am I gonna have work? When am I gonna have a job and all of it? And if it's AI comes in and all that, we must do something. And then people are still going along, and then the jobs are going to be lost because we're in an Oedipus effect. You know what I mean? So plus I put in the, I mean, the iReach Global Corporation to look into, plus also the carbon credit. You know what I mean? And then I put my landlord's address in here and all of that, and for something later on. But yeah, mm, so yeah. God. Yeah, I'm chatting to somebody in another country right now as well, guys. Um, that's why you see me looking at like not the camera. I'm looking at cameras, yeah, but I'm also reading someone else as well. Mm. But one thing I've noticed as well, you know what I mean, I'm glad there's like loads of stoppage points along the way to storage. You know, there's loads of sitting down points. Thank God for, you know what I mean. Otherwise, I would not have done what I've done. You know what I mean? Because every few yards I've got to stop because of my legs, and I have a rest. You know, it takes like a whole day. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Oh. There you go. Mm. Well, let me see what let me just type to it. No. Mm-hmm. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I wonder how long it's going to take for the phone back as well. I'm going to phone Carl as well. Part of me is thinking, is he in a meeting or not? Because he is busy himself and the crisis thing and all that. There isn't much he's going to do today as well. So what I could do is have like a short live stream right now, short-ish, because what we're about around 10 in. And I could set up another stream ready. So when she phones, I mean, it's ready to go. Because you got to watch with these people as well. I mean, because what I noticed with them at Swansea Housing. Hello, what's this? What the heck did I just get? Your motivation for today is. Hmm, hmm. But yeah, I'll go and do that, guys. I'll go and I mean, get some ideas for t-shirts and all of that. And plus today it's the Sabbath as well. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I mean tonight. Yeah, I mean when the sun sets. I mean tonight the Sabbath will begin. So there's that. So I've got to go and get some stuff in anyway. Also, I'll throw it on the bed. I got my kilt from storage and all of that. So I got my purple kilt. Hold on, I got purple kilt. I got purple Joker's jacket. A Celtic Joker. Huh. Well, if the belt things on the kilt don't work, guys, I'll just use another belt. You know what I mean? And I did that with the green kilt I used to have, but that got too small. And I binned it. You know what I mean? But when I mean small, I overwashed it. But anyway, so I am thinking of getting another kilt. You know what I mean? Because I've lost weight and all that. You know what I mean? I probably will need another one. You know what I mean? Maybe I should have kept the green one now, but I didn't think I was going to lose weight. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So I might get like a brown kilt, like a brown and black kilt or something like that. You know what I mean? And if I had the proper money, I would get one specially made in the colours of my family. You know what I mean? On both sides, the Websters and the Page. You know what I mean? And I mean, or then again, take the first five families that are close to me. You know what I mean? Like the Hawes, the Websters. You know what I mean? The Pages. You know what I mean? And I forgot what my nana was now. I mean, all that. So we'll do that. You know what I mean? Sort of like all these different mix of colors. You know what I mean? Because when you think about it, the royal families rub it in our faces, like use our coat of arms and all of that. And like me and Rob used to say to Ellie, that you should look into your coat of arms because there's your family history in that. You know what I mean? Because the royals and all of that are rubbing it in our faces all the time, like our family, you know what I mean, killed your families, sort of thing. So this, that, and everything else. And yet you got people saying, "Oh, it was lovely." No, they killed our families for flip's sake. You know what I mean? To get there. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people that I speak to are like. You know what I mean? They're like, no, they're not wonderful. Their families killed our families. You know what I mean? And yet people are going, "Oh, we have a lovely institution." What? People sitting up there representing blood and murder and all that. Yeah, that's the way of Jesus, isn't it? Anyway, but on that note, guys, you have a lovely day and all that and so forth. I might be live later because housing options are flipping useless. End of the day. But anyway, oh, let me just phone Carl for a second as well. While I got you guys on. Mm-hmm.
Phone is currently unavailable. Please try later or send a text.
His phone's off. Interesting. I didn't think his phone. Can you imagine his number is changed? I mean, because I did send yesterday. I need most of it. Expose the genocide going on in the UK. You know what I mean? I notice a lot of people in authorities don't want to hear that because they so busy like going, oh, bow down to us and all of that and so forth. But once you start saying, hey, you authorities are letting all this go on, you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't matter we men and women of I mean class as the public say, hey, you need to stop this and all that. You lot in authorities keep rolling this out, you keep doing this and all that, and even when we show you the evidence and all of that that is going on and everything else, you choose not to look into it. You know what I mean? The problem isn't people like myself and all of that are actually investigating in all of this. The problem is those that are scared to have their worldview burst. You know what I mean? Like somebody once said, you know what I mean? You can show somebody 100% of truth. Show them the videos, show them the evidence, take them to the locations and all that. If it doesn't match their worldview up here, they they're gonna stay in cognitive dissonance. They're gonna stay in denial all the time. So the problem isn't the truth. The problem isn't the you know what I mean, what's really going on out there, right? The problem is the person's worldview up here. They're like a child. You know what I mean? They don't want to let go of what they've been taught by the lion, we call them lion establishment and all that and so forth. You know what I mean? They they don't want to lose, you know, because they feel like that they are liars. No, by dropping the lie and all that and recognizing that you're just like the rest of us that basically were lied to, it gives you the opportunity to start putting truth into you. And then that's how you become the true way, by realizing you've been lied to. And on top of that, which scares people the most, because, like myself, I mean, I had the same education, I mean, about, Germany and all that and so forth in the British schools and all that. And I realized by me having this knowledge and by me going along to it, am I lying to myself? And that's the key thing. People, I mean, don't want to face that they're lying to themselves. That's the biggest thing. It's got nothing to do with me or anybody else, I mean, what we tell the public, what's really going on. It's down to the individual to admit they've been lied to, and they don't want to admit that they allow themselves to lie to themselves as well. That's the biggest pill of all. You know what I mean? And I faced that at a young age. I mean, I thought, oh, mate, am I lying to myself? By just going along with this information, going along with the system, going along with this and all of that and so forth. You know what I mean? It was a big pill to swallow. You know what I mean? Don't forget, I'm still trying to find my way in the world and all that and so forth. And I think that's what scares people. You know what I mean? And I got attacked a lot. I got, thrown up, against industrial heaters. I got thrown up against the trees and this, that. My body went through hell and back. You know what I mean? The most of physical things that I went through. You know what I mean? I just kept getting back up. Today, you don't like the truth, that's on you. You know what I mean? Like now, you know what I mean? I mean, I got the authorities and all that, and a lot more trying to keep knocking me down. I keep getting back up. I keep, like yesterday, I walked past the police, listening to Max Egan, listening to all these, despite some people, see Max Egan as a shill and all that and so forth. I mean, but I mean, I've got a brain. I can work out. I mean, if the stuff he's saying is false or not. I mean, so I'll continue to listen. I mean, and I go and check out the information for myself as well. I mean, I listen to everything, but at the same time, being critical. I mean, that's why you got a brain. You know what I mean? And like I've always said, what I mean, sometimes these people that people call shills not might throw up a topic that maybe is somebody else that we know, puts the truth out there. But the only way you know it's the truth if you're going to look for it for yourself anyway. So, I mean, I will go around looking for headlines and topics and all that to look into. And sometimes, um, like Alex Jones, yes, he's definitely controlled opposition. But because he's been told things, he's been told to look into this and say this and that. They're throwing topics out for us. You know what I mean? So maybe a lot of it is true what he's saying, but because he's mixing in lies as well to try and keep us within the system and all that, then it's down to us to go, right, this is a topic they want us to know about, but let's go and see what it's really about. You know what I mean? Because I think that the opposition, what I mean, and all that, it tried to overwhelm us. You know what I mean? So we stand down and all that and everything else, and I'm like, no. You know what I mean? Because there's one thing I saw years ago, guys. You know what I mean? In a vision, nothing from mainstream media, nothing from the alt media, nothing off the internet and all that and so forth. I was a 10-year-old child, and I went to sleep, and as you do, and I woke up, and then all of a sudden a vision came right into my mind, and it was a scary vision for a 10-year-old. You know what I mean? And I was basically, and I've probably mentioned this before, you know what I mean, and I've written like an AI song about it as well. I mean, written. I actually wrote the lyrics, you know what I mean? And basically, I'm like walking down this tower, you know what I mean? And I get to the bottom, and I don't normally mention about the bones at the bottom that I'm walking over, crushing over, but in the song I do. And and I come to this church, and all that. The church is not that far from the tower I'm walking down, and and then I see these pews and all that. They're out of place and all that, and where I mean people are supposed to be, right? And 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 one key thing that I've noticed, despite there's a font in in the distance of the church, it's not of it, but within the church, is the height of the vision. It's like I'm on almost like when I'm go coming up to the pews and that. It's almost like on like a baby to a young child's level. And then there's this figure in a hood on this side. You know what I mean? On the right side, and then it then looks towards me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, whoa, what? And and it's like a skull thing going on, and also the sky as well is raining blood, but raining upwards and all that, and and I mentioned about the font before and all of that as well. You know what I mean? It's what I mean, like a dried up sort of thing, and certain things going on. You know what I mean? With the font, it's dried up from water, but I think it's something else there. You know what I mean? If I remember correctly, and so. And I wake up in this moment, and for many years, I didn't know what that meant. You know what I mean? And then I mean, in my growing up years, I started then to find the meaning behind it. Don't forget, tower can represent change and all that and so forth. And the sinister creature, the skull face and all that, some said it's death and all that and so forth. But also it can represent the sinister nature and all that, evil within the church and all that and everything else. And I look around today's churches, and there's some videos of this one guy who's got like evil eyes in the church. He's a minister. I've forgotten his name. You guys will probably know. You know what I mean? And he's got like, like these multi-million-pound aeroplanes and all that and so forth, and he's boasting and bragging, which the Bible tells us not to brag, this, that, and all that. Don't be of the world and all that and so forth. Don't have this lust and love for money and all. And this guy's all that. You know what I mean? And that vision keeps hitting me time and time again now, because that vision reminds me of the fall of Christianity, the fall of religions and stuff like that. And we got this, and we got Satanism, we've got the satanic stuff in our schools now. We're seeing the Sodom and Gomorrah stuff all around us now. We got this, we got that, and everything else. And the thing is, as well, I'm like, if I did get chosen in that moment, I'm like, why me? You know what I mean? I'm nothing special. You know what I mean? But to see what I'm seeing now and all of that, was that God giving me a heads up? Hey, you're going to see a lot of religions fall away, and it's going to cause harm to people and all that. Like we see government. Government is a form of religion. It's got its followers. It's got its ministers. You know what I mean? And everything else. And you got people offering money and all that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? A collection plate through taxes and all that. You know what I mean? And you see around, it's like, huh. I know some of us get it, but why don't the majority get this? And then you've got the lines in the Bible. It talks about those who have eyes to see will see, and those who have ears to hear will hear, and all that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, now I get it. You know what I mean? And it does feel like that you're in a computer game surrounded by NPCs. You know what I mean? Or that film Existence. You know what I mean? Where I think it's Jude Lord and his. I keep forgetting the name because I'm too busy. The reason why I keep forgetting her name, because I'm too. When I was younger, I had a deep thing for her. I was like, oh, she's very beautiful and all that, and I never looked at her name. I was too busy going, she's lovely. You know what I mean? Um, she's watching this going, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Was it Existence film? Yeah, I mean, she is lovely. You know what I mean? And Existence is actually one of my favorite films as well. You know what I mean? I used to have the video. My dad sold the video. I lent it to him, and he, you know what I mean, and he got rid of it. Yeah, my video. Yeah, I mean, I know I laugh about it now and all that. Yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh as Allegra Gala. You know what I mean? She played that role good. She played that good. You know what I mean? How old is she now, anyway? Okay, that's what she looks like now. Yeah, still looking good. But anyway, I think you guys could tell. I'm like, yep. But how old is she anyway? How old is she now? That sounds wrong, innit? Yours active. Makes it sound, I mean, like she's a robot and all of that. That's her at that age. Damn, she's looking fine. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm looking at off the Wikipedia thing. Damn, she's looking fine. Anyway, but because of my beliefs and all that, yeah, I gotta wait for the hubby to die. No, no, touch wood. That does not happen for a long time. But anyway, you gotta admit though, I mean, when she, her playing that role in Existence and Jude Law and the bit I was trying to get at, the way people are these days, they like that scene when she mentions to him, you haven't given him given him the line sort of thing, so he then can continue what he needs to tell Jude Law sort of thing, be the character sort of thing, you know what I mean? And and that's what I feel like a lot of people are. You know what I mean, in authorities and all that. They're like these NPCs or these things that we've seen in Extras and other things. Well, you don't get anything unless you treat them like an NPC. You give them the lines they need for you to progress. Doesn't it feel like that? You know what I mean? Because I notice, you know what I mean, it's like speaking to like some of my family members. If I speak about the football and all that, oh, they're fine. But if you speak about something that goes against the programming, how dare you? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I've hit the programming part, which goes against what you've been programmed. I got it. You know what I mean, and the thing is, well, like one person once said, you know what I mean, it takes a while for this to get to in here and all that. You know what I mean, for anything to be done. And that's why it takes a little bit longer because the body, the mind, and all of that has got a process for any action to be done. You know what I mean? So there's that as well. That's why sometimes people see me from my life. I do this, right? Not because I'm processing and all of that. I'm like, you don't get it yet. You know what I mean? So when they say stupid shit to me and all of that, and they still go along with the system. I used to do this. My head would tilt and I would look at them stupidly and all that. I don't know if I'm doing like my stupid face towards the camera. I don't know because I can't see my face unless I got a mirror, right? But I would so I go just look at them like that, and they'd look at me like sort of thing, and I'd be like, okay, they get it. Now they know I think they're stupid. Good. And I walk off. That's what I say. You don't always have to say anything to make a point. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes I would sit in a room for ages, right? And people would not know I'm there. Don't forget, I'm 6 foot, guys, right? I'm 6 foot. And I would walk in and I'd just sit in the corner and all that and so forth. I'd just be happily listening to what's going on. And then I would get up and then I'd start walking out and so forth. And I'll go, right, take care, everyone. And they're like, how have you been now? I feel, about an hour or two. A few hours, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? What? Huh? They're like that. Huh? And I walk on. I've listened to all these lovely conversations and stuff. And I mean that I can use in my poems back then, and all that. And when I was learning on my red Fender, you know what I mean, I like to make little mini songs about what I've heard and all that and stuff like that. And I used to say to somebody as well, you know what I mean, and it got them scared. I said, somebody like me, you know, who loves writing and all that, write little short stories. We'll listen to all conversations of their lives and then we write about it and all that. You know what I mean? That is what us writers do. You know what I mean? And they're like, wait, what? everything. I went, yeah, we listen to everything because we want you to get the nuances and all that correct when we write in and this, that, and so forth. And I think because I said that, right, and because what I found out later was interesting to why they reacted to me saying that, right? Because they're like, well, everything, and all that. Go away, fly. Good. And afterwards, I found out that they were cheating on the hubby. Well, on the man at him. And then he finds out later, right? And he says to me, and he's like, Paul, I just found out so and so has been cheating on me and all of that and everything else. And in my mind, I went, that explains why she reacted that way to me when I was mentioning about the. Us writers, we log everything. Sort of thing, you know. And I mean, I say, sorry about that, mate, and all of that, and so forth. But at the same time, I'm thinking, that explains it. You know? And the thing is as well, both of them, with the same letter at the beginning of their names as well, which you know what I mean, and the thing is as well, I was out about walking, right, and he just drove up beside me. He said, "Hey, Paul, get in the car," and I went, "Wait, what?" We went all the way up to Ammanford. You know what I mean, I'm there now babysitting the kid, right? While them two were talking, I didn't mind because I mean, it kept the kid's mind off what was going on. You know what I mean? But and then I mean, he brings me back home and all that. I'm like, I mean, jump on a computer. I start playing a computer game and all that, thinking, yep, she had all the right to be concerned. Can you imagine if all that stuff ended up in a story? If I found out, and she like panicking, and yet end up finding out anyway. All the details as well. Oh man, yeah, it's funny, guys. It's funny how some people are like, oh no, I don't need to know about this, and they end up knowing anyway. You know what I mean? But yeah, on that note, guys, you take care and all that. And this is what I mean. See, I got loads of things I can mention about people and all that, but a lot of stuff I've promised to keep secret as well. You know what I mean? And that stuff will never come out of my mouth. Even if the police came up to me and said, "Hey, we need to know this, that, and so forth. We heard you with this person and all that," and I'd be going, "You better off just shooting me in the head. I'm not telling you." Because once I make a promise of keeping a secret, it's ironclad. You know what I mean? I don't care. You know what I mean? It's ironclad. You know what I mean? And not many people are like that, are they, these days? You know what I mean? And I got tested a few years ago as well. Somebody came up to me and said, "If you don't tell me what's going on, I'll punch you." And I went, "You punch me and I'll put you 6 foot under." You know? And I said, I said to them, you know what I mean? A secret is a secret. It's a secret for a reason. You know what I mean? And a lot of secrets I hold ain't bad as well. You know what I mean? They think it's bad, you know what I mean? When they were telling me, and I'm like, this shit's nothing. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, a promise is a promise, isn't it, guys? You don't break them. So, unless you are the police. I'm just doing my job. I want my paycheck. I want a higher position in my career. I want this and that and so forth. I will sell my soul to the devil. Hen, wearing black clothing and Masonic symbolism and so forth. A little checker finger across the head. The thing over the third eye. I shouldn't have done that. But with my hand. Demonstrating where the third eye is. But anyway. So yeah, so on that note, guys, you take care, and I'll catch you all later. It's been fun, and everything. I won't do like the outro. I'll quickly end it, so I can quickly set up the next thing, just in case I get a phone call because the person said to me, "Oh, they with somebody, and that may take a few hours and all that." So, and as I've been now live for an hour 40 minutes, they may call me maybe in 20 minutes or an hour or whatever. So, but anyway, on that note, I'm gonna shoot off. Bye for now. And it's asking me, do I OBS now when they go, you will not be able to reconnect your stream. Will stop and you will no longer be live. That's why it's called ending the stream.